Now, first on the Western Slope, you're watching KREX 5 News at 5.
Evening, and thank you for choosing KREX 5 News. I'm Chelsea Helms.
And I'm Brandon Thompson. People living in Garfield County near the Lake Christine fire are allowed to return to their homes today, but there are still hundreds of families in the Roaring Fork Valley who remain evacuated.
For 3 of those families, they no longer have a home to go home to. The Eagle County Sheriff's Office says that the fire started Tuesday night and it's grown to 5,200 acres as of last night. Wind in the valley continues to blow in circles, so it's hard for firefighters to determine which way it's going to go. At this time, it's burning within just a few miles of Basalt and remains at 0% contained.
Governor John Hickenlooper, Senator Cory Gardner, and Congressman Scott Tipton toured the Fire Command Center in Basalt today, one of 2 command centers the governor visited Friday. Governor Hickenlooper said it seems like all 8 of the wildfires burning across Colorado came all at once.
This fire obviously really came out of nowhere and grew very rapidly, and we had issues around electrical transmission, a lot of buildings at risk. When you get this many fires at one time, you obviously stretch your resources. And I think what we've been doing, and I think what we saw here in the last couple of days, was prioritizing those places where we have the greatest risk.
Hickenlooper told people not to fly their drones near any fires again today, as it causes air tankers and helicopters to abort their drops on the fire. Gardner and Tipton are working for stricter punishment at the federal level for people who do that.
Meanwhile, evacuees have to re-register at shelters tomorrow.
This is the 3rd full day people have had to stand by while they wait to find out if their home will survive.
The families that lost their homes were notified today. Such a sad thing, absolutely. All evacuees who were staying at Roaring Fork High School will now be housed at Basalt High School. A lot of people had to grab what they could when they left, so the Rifle Lift Up thrift store is providing clothing vouchers for those who need them. There are still some people who are ordered to evacuate who are staying to try and protect their home.
I just thought to myself, well, there's nobody else that can defend my house right now. I'm the only one that can, and I'm a former firefighter. I got to go get the hose and go do this, and so I did.
A meeting at Basalt High School is scheduled for 6 p.m. tonight. There is no estimate on when people living in Basalt, El Jebel, and other areas of Eagle County will be allowed to return home.
With all of the people that are being evacuated from the Lake Christine fire, animals and livestock need a place to go to.
Yeah, the stables at the Garfield County Fairgrounds have been sheltering many different animals as their owners wait for evacuation orders to be lifted.
KREX 5 News reporter Tyler Young is live at the fairgrounds in Rifle to find out more about the livestock shelter. Tyler?
That's right, Chelsea. Brandon, horses, donkeys, and many other animals are taking shelter at the fairgrounds, as you mentioned, and it's easy to tell just how spooked they really are with the constant sound of neighs and whinnies that are coming from the stables. And many of the livestock owners who evacuated from Garfield County, they're beginning to return home, as you mentioned, but there are some that are still staying behind. More than 70 livestock animals are taking shelter at the Garfield County Fairgrounds due to the Christine Lake fire. Dozens of evacuees camped out overnight to make sure they're comforted, and as the sudden move has startled many of them.
We got a call that Eagle County and Garfield County would work cooperatively on the large animals that were being evacuated. And so we immediately began receiving large animals. What we received was approximately 70 animals, 67 horses, 2 goats, and a very loud donkey.
Much of the livestock has gone home on Friday as Garfield County's evacuation order has been lifted. Around 30 horses still remain here at the Garfield County Fairgrounds, but they're expected to be going home here very soon as well. Supporters and volunteers rushed to the cause by supplying the evacuees with as many tools and food for livestock that they had available.
The community has been amazing at helping these families to find places that they can stay long term, and you can see behind me that the community has, the outreach has been phenomenal, providing hay and shavings and buckets. We put out a call for buckets for people to be able to feed and water their horses.
The fairgrounds is run by a small staff of 4 people, and without the community and counties coming together on such short notice, Livestock owners may not have had any option.
And of course, we want to thank the commissioners of Garfield County and the administration for the support that they've given us and for providing these facilities. They've put a phenomenal amount of effort and funding into having such nice facilities.
Now, for anyone that was wondering what the status of the Western Slope Reining Horse Association event is, or how that status currently stands, it has been canceled to make way for the evacuees and for also the livestock. And we're still waiting to hear exactly when that event will pick back up. But as soon as we figure out, we're going to tell you here on KREX 5 News. First on the Western Slope and reporting live from the Garfield County Fairgrounds, I'm Tyler Young for KREX 5 News.
Tyler, thanks so much. Great job out there. Now, because of this fire, Colorado Parks and Wildlife is shutting down all shooting ranges in the Northwest Division until further notice. This includes 2 in Mesa County, the Plateau Creek site, and the Cameo temporary shooting range that you're seeing right now. The fire started on the Basalt SWA shooting range managed by CPW. Tracer rounds, which are always illegal, were to blame. The agency says the extreme drought in the region sparked the discussions about closing the shooting ranges. The agency says that safe shooting happens every single day, but the Lake Christine fire shows what can happen when the law is not followed. The closures only affect CPW shooting ranges. Other ranges in Mesa County are still open at this time.
Meanwhile, the largest of Colorado's current wildfires is still growing, but so is the level of containment. Following several days of firefighters not being able to manage more than 5% control, that number is now up to 35%. So far, the blaze has burned more than 105,000 acres. Roughly 1,400 firefighting personnel are working to put it out.
The Bureau of Land Management needs your help finding out who vandalized one of our nearby natural wonders. They're asking for any information that could help them identify the suspects responsible for this recent vandalism within the Dominguez Escalante National Conservation Area. On June 28th, BLM staff reported numerous spray paint graffiti on rocks in the Potholes Recreation Site. They say the vandalism likely occurred a few days beforehand. BLM law enforcement are continuing to investigate this crime. If you know any details that could lead to an arrest, you could receive a $1,000 cash reward.
If you were driving on 32 Road this morning, there's a chance you sat in a bit of traffic because a generator fell off a semi-truck. Authorities say the truck was pulling a trailer, and when it turned left on the 32 road, the trailer rolled and spilled debris. There were no injuries, but diesel from the generator did spill. It caused southbound 32 Road near the I-70 business loop to close for about an hour. Afterwards, one lane had to remain closed until the Colorado Department of Transportation could make some repairs to the road. Officials say the spill created a 25-foot groove in the road that was 5 inches deep. CDOT has fixed it all up, and 32 Road is now open.
Upcycling is taking something typically considered trash and giving it an entirely new purpose.
One local school for families who need a little help along the way takes the waste from local hospitals and turns it into bags.
But as KREX 5 reporter Colette Bordelon found out, it's not just the bags getting a fresh start, but also the people who make them.
These bags,
So here's some of our upcycled feed bags,
are bringing people together.
I am extremely excited. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
She was a great sewer. We would have loved to keep her.
Christina Graham left Denver in search of a stable life for her daughter.
Just gone through a divorce, kind of a sticky situation. I prayed a lot for somewhere better for my daughter where I could get a little bit further in life instead of keep being knocked down and having to get back up and go again.
She found the Link to Success classes through Colorado Mountain College in Rifle, designed for parents on temporary assistance for needy families.
I chose Garco Sewing Works because I like to sew, I like to move with my hands, and I like to help people.
The program pushes people to find their future career.
You bust your butt, you do what you're supposed to do, and they do everything in their power to help you succeed in life.
Christina was easy because she knew coming in she wanted to be a massage therapist.
But before she could become a massage therapist, Graham used her hands for upcycling.
Somebody came from one of the local hospitals and said, "Can you use this sterile wrap, this lightweight wrap?" And we went, "Those would be perfect bags."
They use several hospitals, and now Community Hospital is joining the list.
Every hospital generates between 50 and 100 big sheets of this a week. It's sterile, so we can turn that into a bag and it can be used for years. We're going to double them all. That's twice the recycle.
Which works well for curbside recycling indefinitely when they were searching for a domestic producer for their bags.
Like, why are you giving me this? I can make you a better bag. And I said, okay, that's great.
They offer 4 bags to every customer, and those upcycled bags hold people's recyclables.
We're recycling it right here, and we're also providing more jobs and more skills to people right here in this area. And right now, the bags are popular enough that we are actually back ordered on them.
They're lightweight, they're double wrapped, 2 layers, so they're pretty strong. Reinforce it and put on straps and it's good to go.
Get a little pocket right there.
Sublimation printing that one of our students designed.
Now Graham has a new skill, in addition to her massage therapy degree from Intelitech.
Recyclable things, I could make things out of that and reuse it. Make the world a better place.
It's about being a responsible citizen, in my view.
For Graham, Garco Sew has given both the bags and her family a totally new life.
I really wasn't quite sure I'd make it this far, but because with the help with Jill and everybody through the Link program and Garfield County, I am finally here. And words can't exactly describe how I feel. I feel like I'm about ready to burst into fireworks.
And it all started with some handmade bags. First on the Western Slope, Colette Bordelon, KREX 5 News.
Such a cool way to give back. Those with Garco Sew say you can only get these bags by making a donation to the college, but they will be pretty busy right now dealing with all the sterile wrap and high demand from the customers at Curbside Recycling.
What a cool little initiative. I love that. All right, when KREX 5 News returns, Chief Meteorologist Greg Rule will have your complete weather forecast.
And many local pets are feeling the heat from their owners' poor judgment. We're back in 60 seconds.
You're watching KREX 5 News at 5 p.m. with Chelsea Helms, Brandon Thompson, Chief Meteorologist Greg Rule, and Troy Lynch with sports. This is KREX 5 News at 5 p.m.